Hello viewers and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV, your destination for discussions on politics, policy and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight we delve into the recent report of killing of about 40 farmers or more in Kayakore village, Dorambaga of Kukawa local government area of Borno State by Boko Haram elements, hours after two people were killed by suspected terrorists in Chibok community of the same Borno State. The recent killing has sent shockwaves across vulnerable communities, especially in the farming belt of the northeastern state, heightening fears over the resurgence of the dreaded Boko Haram terror group. We'll be putting a spotlight on the main opposition party, PDP, where a showdown is brewing between the embattled Senator Sam Anyanwu and Sunday Ude Okoye over who is the authentic national secretary of the leading opposition party. And in Osun State, it is alleged that Governor Adeleke of the PDP is planning to defect the ruling APC, a move his spokesperson described as fake news from the pit of hell. And most importantly, the alleged plans to split the campus of the premier Nigeria Aviation College, Zaria, by the current administration into 6 campuses, with each situated in the geopolitical zones, has sent tongues wagging, even as no official confirmation from the alleged move from the authorities concerned. And to help us dissect some of these issues, we are hoping to be joined by Professor Usman, who is the Borno State Commissioner for Information and Homeland Security. And from Edo, it is Honorable Timothy Osadolo, who is the Deputy National Youth Leader of the People's Democratic Party. And most importantly, here in the studio, we have a public affairs analyst and a member of the APC, Nuruddeen, Hamman. Nuruddeen, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Hamza.
Yes, and Timothy, I hope you have joined and you are welcome to the program. Yes, of course, when we have the opportunity, we'll also be joined by the Commissioner of Home Affairs in Borno. But then we'll take a short break, and when we return, the program commences proper. Welcome back as we await the two guests to join us via Zoom, one from Borno and the other one from Edo. But before we commence the conversation, here are major developments in the polity. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has been impeached by members of the Assembly. Mojisola Miranda, representing Apapa State Constituency 1, was elected immediately as Obasa's replacement. The Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Fatai Mojid, has also been elected as the Deputy Speaker. Daily Trust reports that Obasa has fallen out of favor following his controversial comments on the Lagos 2027 governorship. In November last year, when Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was presenting 2025 budget, Obasa sparked controversy when he declared that he was not too young or lacked experience to run for Lagos governor, insisting that those who have been before him are not better than him.
Hello. Please, the members of the parliament today has decided to change the leadership of the House. And you know, the Constitution made it clear that the House has the power to regulate its proceedings. So the members of the House felt they've had enough of the Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa. And today, we have unanimously agreed that Right Honorable Mojisola Miranda Lasbat become the new Speaker of the House. So it was a resolution concurred to by all members of the Parliament, and so be it. And Honorable Fatai Mojid Adebola as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly. And as we speak, all the principal position has been dissolved, and all the standing committee has been dissolved.
Welcome back. And of course, we are extending our condolences to the good people of Borno State over the sad incident that happened in Baga. Nuruddeen, I think we have to start with that before we go life goes on, right?
Yes.
But 40 people, in fact, some people are putting the figure much higher. Why do you think Borno's tragedies have not abated 15 years down the line?
You know, Hamza, Nigerians need to understand security is not just a thing of the gun. You know, our understanding of security and narrowing it down to firepower. When there is issue, you mobilize soldiers or make it a joint security system where police will participate, other members of the armed forces, NSCDC, everybody will participate, and you go, you begin to shoot if there is an advance from the enemy. Yes, this is like a 1/10
of what
of combating insecurity. There is a lot more to fighting insecurity. For crying out loud, we are in a digital system. The world has gone beyond people running with guns looking for enemies to kill.
You need technology.
You need technology. We need to leverage what technology is offering. Mind you, we are in the era of Internet of Things and now even moving into Internet of Humans, artificial intelligence. We need to be, you know, serious about fighting this security. You can imagine America as a country is helping Ukraine without coming to Ukraine. Yes, you can claim they send them money or whatever, but sometimes to help them in intelligence gathering or the way they support Israel as
so
a ally.
If I understand, you are trying to attribute the killing of these 40 helpless farmers by Boko Haram to lack of intelligence.
Lack of there is no way you escape lack of intelligence as one of the problems, because these days, and in intelligence, Mr. Hamza, you need to leverage again. The community around you should form part of your intelligence, because they are the direct, you know, what do you call it? They feel the impact first. They are the direct victims of this Boko Haram mayhem. So if they cannot be part of your intelligence, you know, cycle, it means you are in trouble. I don't know how they do it, but I'm sure they have some civilians who provide intelligence. But very important is, we've seen the last havoc, you know, of the rain havoc, the flooding.
Oh God! Yeah.
That has really destabilized Borno State, and I just hope and pray that they get their feet together, you know, and reshape the state. Because the governor is on his feet. We all know he has been putting his best. Now, whenever here and there you hear pocket of enemies before now has surrendered and wants to be reincorporated into the society. There is a program of the DRR, which means demobilization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. This is a program that is fashioned out, you know, by the Nigerian government around the areas where this Boko Haram
is it so really working?
That's what I'm saying. We need to ensure as a nation.
And the governor, you know, he issued a statement today saying that these victims, unfortunately, they went outside the corridor of safety. That there are parameters, I mean, some circumference.
You can see you are now also talking about the intelligence. How adequately have they been informed that they have a barrier where they should not cross? Have they been well communicated to? Because I don't think when you tell somebody that 500 meters from your house is a red zone, don't cross, he will cross, because he knows when he gets there, his chances of coming back is just 1%. So who wants to die? Nobody. So if the government is claiming that they have gone out of the safety cycle, have they been informed that they have a safety cycle? If yes, how has the safety cycle been established?
And it reminded me of the women, over 100 in you know, Gambarungala. This was last year, that were headed, you know, they are loggers. They went to look for firewood, most of them IDPs, to now come and sell to feed their families, but they were taken away by the Boko Haram. Up to now, we are not even hearing anything about it. But specifically, I have some timelines about Baga. You know, in 2019, I remember because we beam our satellite to events in Baga. Boko Haram, they have taken over. You know, there are many islands on the shores of the Lake Chad, which Baga is part of. And the locals were raising alarm that something is about to happen. It's about to happen. Nigerian security, of course, they did their best, but their best was not enough.
Are you now believing in the native intelligence I'm talking about? Because, mind you, Boko Haram activities, we have Borno is bordering Chad and Niger. Right?
Yeah.
In fact, some states, some villages around the Niger border area speaks Kanuri. In fact, that is why we have the multinational joint task force headquarters in Jamena, which is also bordering Borno State. The intelligence cycle in combating this Boko Haram issue, we have to put some sincerity in the way we do our things in this country. I will go all the way and blame Borno State government, Borno State citizens, Nigerian government, Nigerian military. There is nobody that you exempt from this. From this.
So we have to find a solution.
Yes, and the solution is simple.
What is it?
The solution is simple. Borno State people needs to take Boko Haram issues seriously, and the state governor, as a matter of urgency, remember there was a time here we talk about database, needs to introduce a database system that will publish every citizen or indigene of Borno State, where he is staying, who his family members. You know, they need to work on this identitorial, system, so that they know, first of all, who are their people and who are not
their people.
Their people, because it will go a long way in helping them. Today, if you ask how many Boko Haram members were arrested or killed and which family
they belong,
it's
very unlikely if
we don't get to hear this, because when you hear it, you can now begin to say, okay, if we have Mr. A from this family A, is there a tendency that they have some radical issues around the family, and what are we expecting in the next 6 years, 6 months, 1 year, and how can we combat it? Is it within the purview of the state to handle this, or we need the assistance of the federal government? So all these things need to be handled, and first thing first, the will has to come from the state, then the support, then from the federal government.
All right, thank you, Nuruddeen. Our Zoom guest, one of them, of course, Timothy Osadolo, Deputy National Youth Leader of the People's Democratic Party, joins us via Zoom from Edo State. Hello, Timothy, welcome to the program.
Thank you, my brother. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, and we're happy having you. Of course, we wanted to discuss the crisis in your party on one part, and then the crisis around the aviation industry on the other, and we have a member of the APC here, of course, Nuruddeen Yero. And then earlier we wanted to actually have an interface with the Commissioner for Home Affairs in Borno State, Professor Tar, but unfortunately he is yet to join. But on a sad note, I'm sure you have read what happened. Over 40 farmers have been killed by Boko Haram in Borno State. We want to have your take briefly on this. Why the pattern all the time, many people killed, in 2020 it was rice farmers in Zabarmari, 76 of them. And of course in 2015, hundreds of them were killed in Baga, the same area where over 40 were killed. Now, what is your take?
To say, may the souls of those who are victims of the ineptitude of these governments, may they continue to find peace in the bosom of God or Allah, as the case may be, or their creator. But we cannot keep lamenting over things that we can be proactive about year in, year out. One of the reasons Nigerians got fed up with the presidency of President Jonathan was because of his lack of capacity to adequately deal with Boko Haram issue. Now, we are more than aware that when President Buhari campaigned, he also campaigned on a preliminary note that he was going to tackle insecurity. But we also saw how abysmally his records on that front were. Now, this current government came with a mantra of renewed hope. I don't think the lives of Nigerians renewed in terms of hope. I don't think that hopelessness has been renewed across the country, particularly in the northwest, northeast, and virtually all across the country. But one is not forced to ask, what is the target of this government? What is the hallmark of this government? What are their priorities? Is it state security or is it regime security? This government has prioritized regime security over state security. This government has spent billions of naira on frivolities rather than defense apparatus or tools that will secure the country or increase our intelligence gathering as a nation. This government has spent billions of naira renovating houses in Lagos that Shettima would never use in his lifetime in the name of vice presidential buildings. This government has bought yachts that President Tinubu may not even need as a president. This government has spent billions on private jets.
So if I get you,
okay,
it's like there is misplacement
his
of
son
priority,
is using some
right?
of them to travel around the country.
Yes.
But the security agencies that actually need up-to-date 2025 technological hardwares for information gathering and as the case may be, they don't have it. What is the budgetary provision and what is available at the end of the budgetary provisions for intelligence institutions? You see, these farmers, if you come to the south now, you are not, because virtually everybody who has transport fare wants to go down south to look for farmland or to farm and to do that. And again, this creates a crisis of immigration, either for the cattle rearers or the agrarian farmer that just wants to feed. That is because this government has lost clear-cut ideology or blueprint to say what to tackle insecurity. And let me tell you, Professor Usman, if you don't tackle food security as a nation, the country is not fit, is not proper to identify itself as a self-sustaining nation. If you talk about food security, they don't talk about security of lives and properties. On both fronts, any rational Nigerian would not score this government a D. And that's because the indices are not there.
All right.
Aside the colorful speeches the president makes in Aso Rock on New Year Day or ceremonial occasions, I'm not sure he's aware of what's truly happening on ground.
All right.
Across the country. If it does, things will change.
All right. Thank you, Timothy. I think we should now delve. We hope the right thing will be done. And in the course of the program, we're also hoping to have Professor Usman, Commissioner for Information and Homeland Security in Borno. But then back to the one of the topics of discussion. As I told you earlier, we have, of course, Hammer here in the studio, a member of the APC. It's like both your parties are having challenges. My question to you, Mr. Timothy, who is actually the national secretary of your party? Is it Senator Sam Anyanwu or Sunday Ude Okoye?
Well, there's no ambiguity as to who's the national secretary of the PDP. As we speak today, Senator Samuel Anyao remains substantive secretary of the PDP. He's the one who was elected at the convention. He's the one still holding forth. He's the one that was in office today, and he's the one that will be in office tomorrow. Yes, there are many interlopers to lay claim to his office through court judgments and court statements. The truth is that there's no back channel election into the office of National Secretary. The office of the National Secretary is a product of the National Convention. Unless he resigns or he dies,
All right.
that is the day when there will be vacancy. The man has not resigned and is not dead. So I don't see what people are angling for when the man has not breached the constitution without the party or the country. So
All right.
I just think those that want to sponsor chaos are those behind saying there's a second name to the office of National Secretary in the PDP. We, the owners and stakeholders of PDP, we are abundantly convinced that the office of National Secretary has only one person, and that person is Mr. Samuel.
All right. Thank you very much. I will come back to you with more questions on this, and I want to extend apologies to you because our Professor Tar has joined us from Maiduguri. I will take like 4 or 5 minutes to now ask him some questions. Prof, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
And on behalf of the board and management of Media Trust, we are extending our condolences over the search incident in Baga.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, what is the current situation now? Earlier in the afternoon, you issued a statement saying 40 farmers, of course, confirmed dead. Has the figure increased, or that is where we are at the moment?
That's where we are at the moment. We are still counting. Investigation is ongoing. We are yet to receive the updated figure. So the figure stands at 40 until we get a newer figure.
Okay, what about the missing people? Because have some of them started coming back, or they are still in the wilderness?
Some of the victims escaped into the bush and they have started coming back. And it is they that actually gave the first report, and they are cooperating with the security agents in order to understand the dynamics of the matter.
Okay, earlier in the program before you joined, Hamman Nuruddeen here in the studio, he made mention of a serious problem. That is maybe communication. Because in the statement you issued, you said, unfortunately, some of these farmers went outside the safety corridor. But the question being asked is, are they even aware of anything called safety corridor or something like that?
Yes. When we resettle communities, we normally establish the safety corridor of 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, as the case may be. We usually ask our resettled communities to operate within the corridor, as any stray outside of the corridor risk bombs or crossfire and so on. So our farmers actually cooperate with that. What we understand with this unfortunate incident was that the farmers went straight outside of the corridor without being briefed by the authorities, security agencies, and they went right into the killing zone and they were attacked. That's the initial report we are receiving. So our resettled communities are aware of their boundaries, and they have so far cooperated with the security agencies.
There are many observers who think that, especially in northern Borno, along the shores of the Lake Chad, most of those communities are still vulnerable to attacks. And it's like the Borno State government is really keen in taking people back to their ancestral homes. Why are you really worried? I mean, always willing to take people back, even when there are feelers that some of those communities are not really safe?
What we normally do is to establish before we establish a town, we establish security in the first instance. So we excavate parallel parapets in each community, 5 or 10 kilometers as the case may be. Once we resettle the people, we deploy police and security agents, including the military, who make sure that those communities are not attacked. Once in a while, because of breach of security, and this is not common, they do go out and the enemies, they do go out and carry out daring attacks in isolated spots. And once they do this kind of attacks, sorry, my light went off. Once they do this kind of attacks, usually it becomes viral. That is what is happening. We have resettled tens of communities. Even this year, last year, 2024, we resettled over 50 communities, and only 1 or 2 were attacked, and those attacks were repaired. But as usual, news, bad news gets viral easily. So it's not that all our communities are vulnerable. In fact, I dare say that most of the resettled communities are safe for agriculture and livelihood.
And Baga specifically, we have some data. It's like it is really prone to attacks. I remember in 2013, personally, I was reporting from Borno that time. Over 200 people, 2013, they were killed in around Doron Baga and environs. And in 2015, there was similar attack, killing of vulnerable civilians. And then in 2019, of course, there was also an attack, which I remember when we reported, especially here from the Daily Trust, the military high command was not even happy. Our offices in Maiduguri and here in Abuja were all invaded by the military for us, because simply we reported what was happening. Now, what is the situation between civil and military relations along the Lake Chad?
Well, along the Lake Chad, we have safe communities such as Baga. We also have unsafe territories or ungoverned spaces. These are contested spaces where the military are working day and night in order to remove the remnants of the Boko Haram. So towns like Baga are very safe now within the safe corridor. But outside of Baga safe corridor, where the military and the insurgents are contesting, it is not safe. So the shores of the Lake Chad, we are working inch by inch, kilometer by kilometer to decontaminate the southern shores of the Lake Chad, where we have Nigerian territory. So there are so many towns that are safe, but we also have unsafe areas.
And we were told that most of these victims were not really the people of Baga and environs. Of course, some of them were among the victims, but others came from southern Borno, especially Goza, and as far as Kebbi State. Could that be true?
I didn't hear the question very well because where I am is a bit noisy. You said the people are from southern Borno.
The victims encompass.
Pardon?
I said the victims encompass people from various backgrounds. People from southern Borno, people from
yes,
Borno,
I got
people
it.
from even northwestern parts.
Actually, we have people from all over Nigeria, especially southwest Nigeria, that are coming to the shores of the Lake Chad for farming and for fishing. So those communities, they have been there for centuries, but because of the Boko Haram insurgency, they had to go back to their original states, Kebbi State, for example. So these people are now returning back with the restoration of peace and security. But we also have people from southern Borno that are also coming to farm. But don't forget that southern Borno is already fertile and is already safe. So the volume of people coming from southern Borno is not that much. Majority of the people that are coming to farm in northern Borno, in Baga area, are people from Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, and those places. And we have historical connection with those people. They have come. Some of them have even become indigenous. So these are the ones that, because of the insurgency, when the insurgency spiked, they went back, but they are now returning. But when they return, they are not properly briefed to most of them. And so they stray into areas that we consider unsafe, such as the one that happened in Dumba.
Okay, finally, are there plans to actually take support to the families of those that have been killed?
Hello?
I said, what are
The
the
noise
plans
is too much.
to
Can you
take support? Yes.
Can you make it brief, please? Because
Yes,
I am in
yes.
a rowdy place.
Finally, is the last question. I said humanitarian support for the victims. Have you put something on ground, or you are still talking about maybe recovering corpses
Yeah.
and all?
Thank you very much. We have a number of national and local humanitarian agencies that normally come to the rescue on circumstances like this. We have the National Emergency Management Agency. They have a structure here in Borno State. They normally send their support immediately. We also have the Borno State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, that is already on ground working to provide support to the victims.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof, for your informed perspective on this. And once again, our condolences to the good people and government of Borno State.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yes, that was
Usman
for information and Homeland Security. Yes, now we get back to, or you want to say something?
You see what I was saying?
Yes.
My concern about inadequate communication has manifested. The professor said the distance given between communities to safety zones is 5 to 10 kilometers. And he went ahead and said, within that range, there is usually deployment of security. So if there is that arrangement, how come those villagers were allowed to go beyond
the track?
The track?
Very sad. That is a very big question, and we hope to find answers
to the people of Borno State,
to them.
because this is unfortunate.
Yes, I asked Timothy. His party is, fire is raging there. I asked who is actually of course, National Secretary. Is it Senator or Ode? Now, in your party, just today in Lagos, the almighty, all-powerful Speaker of the State House of Assembly has been removed with just this thing. Many people thought that he is so strong that, taking him up will not be easy. Why is it so easy to remove him?
This is what party can do for you. When you think you are indispensable, something shocking will just happen and you'll be gone. So my only concern is when these things are happening, I just hope that the good aspect of it should be to the people of Lagos State. Because certainly it's about power tussle. Because like you have said earlier, he has indicated interest and started talking about governorship. He should have concentrated on his speakership
and
duties,
even had the audacity to actually
to challenge.
Yes.
So you know when you do things like this, you have overstepped your bounds, and usually political actors in the same ring with you will normally want to cripple you, because meaning if you survive up to that time, you will be damaging.
Some believe that if not for the endorsement of President Tinubu during the Christmas and New Year break, he stayed for a very long time in Lagos, it wouldn't have been possible to remove Obasa. So do you agree with that?
Of course, I agree. It's just a party, political play. So, and unfortunately, he's a victim now. So I hope he will get his feet back together, stay, work for the party. If he can end the place and still work 2027.
Maybe he has joined the Ambode way.
I don't know.
All right, Timothy, on 20th of December, 2024, of course, the Appeal Court Enugu Division affirmed the nomination of the former National Youth Leader, Ude Okoye, as the National Secretary of the party. But now you are saying, most of you are with Anyao. Can we say the Appeal Court erred?
Well, first and foremost, I think we should know what the issues are.
Okay.
The PDP is not just a gathering of friends. It's a registered political party with a constitution. Now, what does the constitutional provision say as regards the office of members of the National Working Committee? Members of the National Working Committee and members of the National Executive Committee of the PDP cannot be suspended by any other organ or chapter of the party, be it ward, be it LGA, be it state, or be it zonal. Only a committee set up by the National Working Committee or by the National Executive Committee of the party can institute disciplinary action against a member of NEC. Senator Sam Ayaw is a member of NEC. The problem most people had with him, or most of the people had with him, was on the issues of emotions and morality, or whatever they want to call it. It's not a constitutional issue. They said he should have resigned when he aspired to be governor of Imo State. Recall, sir, Senator Samaya was the gubernatorial candidate of the PDP in the last gubernatorial election in Imo State.
Yes.
The party position is clear. It is when you have taken up appointments or when you have taken up employments, it is deemed automatically, therefore, that you have relinquished your position as a member of the National Working Committee. Senator Ayaw, I don't know, for some reasons, didn't win that election. And for some reasons, he also did not resign. And the party was silent. The party constitution was silent in such a situation. So those arguing and agitating that he should have resigned or should not have resigned, they have a chance to wait for the next national convention that is coming up by December and push for constitutional amendments. Yeah. And not go to law courts to seek for interpretations of what is not available.
So as to address
now,
these gray areas.
I'm not saying, my lords, the judges of the appeal court, they err in law. Right. But Senator Samaya also have a stay of execution order from the Supreme Court after he enrolled his appeal against the judgment from the Enugu appeal court.
Okay, so I have a last question for you, Timothy. I have one last question for you before we let you go. Yes, can you hear me? I have one last question for you. Do you agree that FCT Minister Wike, the national chairman of the party, Damagum, and a few governors are supporting Anyawu instead of course, Okoye, who has the backing of some party chieftains who nominated him from the southeast? I want this answer in less than 1 minute, please.
That answer, you will not get a monosyllabic response from me. Now, why is this? It's only natural for people to take sides on every issue, and there will only be two sides: the good side, the bad side, the right side, the black side, the white, the brown side. The truth is this: it is irrespective of who is supporting Sintayahu or who is not supporting him. Is the law supporting him? Yes. If he has erred against the law, trust me, I will also tell you, he has erred against the law. But now that he has a constitutional backing from the case, let's wait till we hear the Supreme Court pronouncement before we will not say, oh, this or that. For now, who's supporting both parties in material, let's test the constitution of our country and of our party. And that is what they are doing.
All right. Thank you very much, Timothy Osadolo, Deputy National Youth Leader of the People's Democratic Party, for joining us via Zoom from Benin City. We hope to have you some other time.
Sure.
All right, because we will dedicate the remainder of about 10 or 11 minutes of this program to discuss the problem or issues around the Aviation College in Zaria. Nuruddeen, you seem very worried by the provision in the budget to actually split the Aviation College in Zaria. Some are saying it's not splitting, it's just to have some campuses. What is your take on that?
My take on that is simple, and let it be a thing that every leader, be it at the state level or local government level, let our leaders try to make sure institutions work first. let institutions be properly utilized. Aviation College was established in the 60s, 1964. This college is 60 years now. Just 2 months ago, at the moment as I'm talking to you, they have about 20 helicopters that are working.
They are working?
That are working. And out of these 20, healthy ones are about between 10 and 15.
Okay, when you say they are working, meaning
yes,
epileptic.
Of course, yes. No,
but those that are
very much okay for students, you know, to use in their training and practice.
Just 2?
At about 10 to 15.
Okay.
That means you can't vouch for the entire 20. There are all the other aircrafts that are scrapped in the college, which you dare not even touch because it will go nowhere. Maybe the only thing that those aircraft that are parked and scrapped are used for demonstration
on the ground.
Now, Aviation College has never graduated 200 pilots or engineers or air traffic controllers at any given time. There has never been a time since inception where you say Aviation College has graduated 200 students or
so
300
you're talking
students.
about if the reason for splitting...
I'm coming, Mr. Hamza. Now, factors that should call for splitting of colleges should be, one, overwhelming, access to the college. That means if people from every corner of the country, let's say Aviation College is taking about 1,000 people and the facilities are not sufficient enough to cater for these students, this call for room to split it to other regions. Even at that, why do you need 6 College of Aviation?
Federal character.
Federal character.
In Nigeria, people, I'm trying to ask.
Please, let's stop this.
Okay.
We should try and believe in this country we call Nigeria, if truly there is a Nigeria. Because there is no state in the country that does not have access to Zaria. Stella Odua, when she was Minister of Aviation, made this attempt. I don't know if you are aware. She made this attempt when the rector, as at the time, was Captain Chinyere. I am telling you, go and get the facts. Captain Chinyere wanted to relocate the Aviation College to Enugu.
Just, of course, I read somewhere that Wadanas, around 1999, 2000.
It took the grace of God for other people in the northern Nigeria, particularly in Zaria. And from my findings, Munir Jafaru, who was the Yerima of Zazau then, took it upon him, mobilized people, and stopped that thing. These are institutions. Let's try and respect these institutions. We don't have 1 million pilots in Nigeria.
Why are you complaining? You are from Adamawa State, and one of the centers is going to be in Northeast.
How many pilots do we have in Adamawa State? How many? Let's allow this institution to function in Zaria.
So then why do you think some people around President Tinubu?
Because do you know 2 months ago, students in the Aviation College protested.
Over what?
For what? Water and electricity. If you want to train somebody, a pilot, who will guarantee the safety of life of a passenger on board aircraft, this is the highest risk you can take in this life. To go to the air, you are not sure of your pilot, how he was trained. And you don't even provide him with basic things like electricity and water. How have you provided adequate environment for this pilot to be trained? Now, my concern is this. Should the president look into improving the college first?
The one in Zaria.
Provide it with all the necessary facility it requires to compete on global standard, Mr. Hamza. So that we can beat our chest and say, when we train pilots in Nigeria, they can go to the US and be certified. Should he has concentrated on, improving on the welfare of the staff of the aviation? Instead of splitting it now it has added more burden on the country, because we are always talking about resources that should be meant, for Nigerians and properly utilized. So why are we creating things that seek to demand more from the center post? Why do we need 6? How many people would train in Adamawa State in the aviation college?
You have the Nigerian Law School in Adamawa.
What I'm saying, okay, now,
we have one in Kano.
Do you know how many?
Growing up, it was only 11.
Listen, do you know how many lawyers trained in each law school in Nigeria? If despite the presence in most of the regions,
the turnover is high.
Go to any of the law school. I challenge you. Go to any of the law school in a session. You will not find less than 400 people in a session. How many pilots do we have in Nigeria? In fact, if you close your eyes, I'm just being hyperbolical, you can count how many pilots we have in Nigeria. Why do we need 6 colleges to train them? For what?
Some are saying it's a grand design to actually even kill the school as a whole. Not really. Do you believe in that?
100%, and that is where I'm going to. And there is no need. If the president believes in this country, Hamza, he needs to demonstrate. Because look at why a northerner will sit down and tell you President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not believe in Nigeria is because of things like this. Remember, we are still battling with the issue.
An APC member.
Keep this APC thing of any party aside. I'm first of all a Nigerian. I always remind you this. And I want to be a Nigerian because if there is no Nigeria, there is no party. Why not remember? Now, Nigerians are still battling with the issue of asking innocent Nigerians to, by force, under duress, to resign from CBN. We are still battling with this. We are still battling with movement of some departments of Central Bank of Nigeria to Lagos. We are still battling with the movement of one of the aviation sector subsidiary back to Lagos. And now you are saying you are splitting the aviation college. Now, where will the federal government pay it attention? Is it the one in the southwest? Is it the one in the south only?
Of course, we're expecting one in Akure, southwest, then Osubi in south-south, and then Ebonyi, southeast, and then Ilorin, north central.
It's not
Yola,
necessary.
northeast, and Zaria.
It's not necessary.
Okay, now there is some monies have been earmarked.
It doesn't matter. Why
so
not?
What do you think
Why not use
Keyamo, Tinubu, and the Senate Committee on Aviation should do with that appropriation?
This is just politics to waste Nigeria resources, abuse Nigerians, and yet, don't worry, next year or after 2 years, we are going to talk about how are the aviation colleges faring, because you will get to see it. Some colleges will be funded more than others. Some will be improved more than others. So why not get the facilities that these pilots, these engineers, these air traffic controllers need adequately for their training? Train them to standard. It doesn't matter anywhere they are. If it is in Enugu, let it be. If it is in Calabar, let it be. We have port authorities across our, what do you call it, coastal zones. Today, Calabar port is not working. Warri port is not working. And we always want to be petty around government when we are using taxpayer money and we can't even justify it. Honestly speaking, this is a bad move, and the government, if it is my advice, the government should withdraw from this, allow the aviation college in Zaria to function. Use this money, improved the college. When you give it timeline, say the next 5 years, and you realize more students wants to be pilot because you have improved on the standard. Remember, we have military people who are trained to be pilots. We have civilians across every sector who wants to be. It's about choice. So if, and again, that I know from the military, you get to see our military train their pilots from Italy, from US, from Greece.
Because we don't have the facilities.
Now, if we have these facilities,
they will not go anywhere.
Finally,
in 5 seconds, who should act now? Who should say what? Because we have run out of time.
Who should say what in what?
To now actually convince the president to rescind the decision of splitting the... Is it the National Assembly? Is it the Northern Elders? Is it traditional rulers? Is it the governors?
The National Assembly to do their job because they have the powers to stop the president.
They can overrule him.
Yes, let them stop him because this is a bad move and is splitting the country too. And is splitting the country and no longer giving that sense of renewed hope he has used in campaigning.
All right, thank you very much, Nuruddeen Hamayaro, engineer and the public affairs.
And we stop talking about party so that you treat me as a Nigerian, as an individual.
All right,
yes.
Thank you very much. But of course, politicians or analysts, they want to be identified.
At this point, Mr. Hamza is inconsequential.
Thank you very much. All right, Nuruddeen, we hope to have you some other time.
Thank you.
And viewers,
thank you for having me.
Of course, that's Nuruddeen Hamayaro for you, an engineer who spoke about the Aviation College in Zaria. Earlier in the program, we hosted Honorable Timothy Osadolo, Deputy National Youth Leader of the PDP. And then midway, Professor Usman, Borno Commissioner for Information and Homeland Security, who spoke about the unfortunate tragedy in Maiduguri and Baga. And that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. Join us tomorrow for another interesting package. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.